Good morning, FlowChat Connector. Sean here, back at you with another FlowChat Sales Training high ticket tune-up. I'm excited for you today because I'm curious if you've ever wondered about charisma, right? So imagine that there's two people giving some sort of a presentation. They're going to do everything. The slides are the same. All the setup is the same. What separates the two people? Are they going to deliver the same message? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk through 6 attributes of credibility, or what we call charisma, and how you can use them in your world too. Most people think you can't learn charisma or you can't develop credibility. This is absolutely not true, especially if you're first getting started with your particular business or your agency, for example, if you're growing an agency. And so today we're going to cover how you can use the 6 attributes of credibility or charisma, how you can develop more charisma from a scientific-based side when it comes to high-ticket sales and growing your agency this year. So let's dive right in and get started. Here we go. So how can you be more credible? A lot of things to think about here, right? Most people think you either have it or you don't have it, right? Well, the case of the matter is you can develop it if you don't have it yet. So don't worry if you're not there. It's not your fault. It's probably just because you don't know these 6 things. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through all 6 of these things for you. I'm going to share the attribute. I'm going to talk about the definition of the attribute and then how you can apply it in your world. So it's very, very precise and exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And you can use this stuff starting today. Okay. So first one is this, right? So of course I got some cool images there that y'all share with that one in a minute. But the first one is similarity. How can you be more credible? Well, what does similarity mean, Sean? Similarity is the common traits or beliefs that you actually share with your audience or your prospect. Okay. And so what that means is people buy from people that are like them, right? So if you're like them, so if they, like people like to buy from kind of common people, so similar type things. And so how do you use this? Well, it's important to do one of two things, either love or hate at least one of the same things with your prospect. So if they hate football and you don't really have a care about football, you should hate football too, right? If they love reading books, you should love reading books too, right? And again, the idea a lot of people teach in sales is look at their wall, look at their stuff around their office and see what they're doing there and then try to relate to them if you have a story. Yeah, that was like the first thing that they taught you 10, 15 years ago. Not super true, because if it's not in alignment with your core values, it doesn't make sense. So just be real, be authentic about this, but definitely, I was listening to a comedian. I don't know who it was. This is a comedian. He was talking about, actually, he was a rapper. I don't remember who it was, but he was saying, what makes a relationship last? And the line was, you got to hate the same things. And if you hate the same things, your relationships will last for a long time. I just thought that was really interesting. And that's why I put that word in there, because I think if you have a similar ground to work from, it puts you on the same side of the table as your prospect, which is cool. Okay, what's number 2? Number 2 relates to this expression. Look at the picture of this guy in his face. He is absolutely shocked. He's bewildered. He's perplexed. He's a lot of things. We don't know exactly what he's doing. I think he's a coach for a basketball team. But what does expression mean? It means what you communicate through your words, your tone, and your body language. Let me break down the actual numbers. Why is this little GIF so effective at capturing attention? Because it's body language and there's nothing else, right? Body language comprises 55% of your communication. Total, 55%, more than half is your body language. So if you have the wrong body language as you're showing up for a meeting or something like that, you need to change your state. Absolutely 100%, right? 37% is the tone of your voice, the way you throw the words, the way you say the things that you say, the pitch, the level, the height, the speed that you talk. That is 37%. And what's left is the 8% of your words. So with that said, understand that the actual words you use are not as important as the way you say them and how you act when you say them. And how do you use this in your sales conversations? Very simply, sales, and I learned this from David Sandler, one of the greatest salespeople on earth, created the Sandler system, Sandler method. Sales is a Broadway play put on by a psychiatrist. Think about that. Break down this for a second. Sales is a Broadway play. What does that mean? It means there's acting that's involved, put on by a psychiatrist. What do psychiatrists do? They ask a lot of great probing questions and they gather a lot of data. So when you can combine your expressions, meaning your words, your tone, and your body language, and then ask really relevant and great questions, you are going to create a very strong, credible, or charismatic expression with your prospect. Okay, moving on. What's number 3? Because there's 6 of these things. Number 3 is this: creativity. Okay. I'll get to the passion here in a second, but creativity, what does this mean? Well, creativity, the imagination you use to deliver many aha moments that helps your audience grasp what you say with less cognitive effort. Okay, put all that aside. Let me say it this way. Creativity is giving somebody something that's very simple that they can grasp onto, that makes sense, that shows them a new path. That's what that says. Okay. So, how do we use creativity in our world, in our sales conversations? The most effective way to do this is to tell stories, right? I once watched Russell Brunson, one of my direct coaches. We've been in his inner circle for about 5 years now. And what I've seen him do when he goes up on stage, I counted how many stories he actually did. And when he came off stage, I asked him, like, how many stories do you think he told? He said he told about 5. I counted like 30 some stories in that hour presentation that he did. And so telling stories will help you to relate and give your prospect the aha moments. This is one of the things that you can use or develop as an attribute to become more charismatic or more credible. Moving on to the next one is, as you can guess, passion, right? So you can see Chef Ramsay here on the right, the love and enthusiasm you display for your topic or expertise. Nobody can deny, if you go watch Chef Gordon Ramsay on any one of his shows, or even on, I watched the eating the hot wings challenge the other day. Like, he is so passionate about food, you can't deny it. And that gives him charisma. Okay, so he's a great example for us to think about, what is it that you do? How passionate are you compared to how passionate Gordon Ramsay is to his cooking and his food and his shows and all this stuff? Like, you're probably not at his level yet, and that's okay, right? But just understand that if you're truly passionate, and one of the best ways to define passion or share passion, what I do sometimes, I get so excited about what we do, right? Because I help clients to grow their business systematically and scale very quickly using FlowChat and all the other psychology and stuff that we teach. And I'm so passionate about it. Sometimes in meetings, I'll start speaking really fast, and I'll stop myself and I'll say something like, man, I'm sorry, I get so excited about, I just love what I do. Does all this stuff make sense to you? And I will stop myself and I will deliberately share, I'm passionate about this. In other words, of course, right? So how do we use this? Again, as I just mentioned, remember, you've heard your own pitch 1,000 times, but they've probably never heard it. So be passionate about it. Seriously, why'd you get into the thing in the first place that you're doing? Okay, let's move on to number 5. What is number 5? Here we go, two more. Number 5 is fearlessness. Right? What does this mean when it comes to charismatic abilities or being credible? It's the confidence you exude when you're not attached to the outcome. Again, the confidence you exude when you're not attached to the outcome. Think about this for a second. Let's say you're playing a round of golf and you're 20 or you're 10 strokes in front of everybody else and nobody can catch you, and you already know it, but you got to finish the tournament. You got the last hole to play, and there's a shot that you got to hit that's like, you've hit it maybe one time out of 20, but you know, if you hit that shot, everybody in the whole world is going to be like, you're amazing, you're a hero. But if you miss that shot, then you're going to have to drop the ball and you probably lose 1 or 2 of your strokes. But if you're 10 strokes ahead, like, no big deal, right? Because you don't care about the outcome. You're already going to win the tournament. Now you're just testing your mettle to see if you can actually hit that 1 in 10 shot that you've been practicing, right? And so the idea here when it comes to sales is, keep this in mind when selling. I need new business, but I don't necessarily need your business. Same concept, right? When you go in there and you're so desperate to close a deal on the other side, people can smell that. They can feel that. They can sense that, right? It's called commission breath, and nobody likes it, right? So if, however you get to this fearlessness place, you want to get unattached to the outcome, right? One of the best ways to do that when you're prospecting or doing sales stuff is to have a stuffed pipeline. And if you don't have a stuffed pipeline, again, click the link below, set up a call with our team. Let me show you FlowChat. Let us show you the tool that actually is changing or disrupting the industry, that can fill up your pipeline, that can deploy fearlessness into your world. Very easy thing. Last one. Here we go. Integrity. You can see here The Simpsons. Mr. Burns runs into the house and looks at Lisa and says, I need someone with your integrity to help me. Why? Because Lisa is that pillar of righteousness inside of The Simpsons show. Very simple. And here's what it means. The evidence that creates solid trust with your audience. If you examine Lisa's character, she's always righteous. She's always doing the right thing. Everybody comes to her with moral and ethical dilemmas, and she says, you shouldn't do that because it's wrong. That shows integrity. And how do you do it in your sales conversations? Simple. Say what you do and do what you say. That's it. That's all you got to do, right? If you're saying you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to be in a meeting, be there. Show up 1 or 2 minutes early and don't disappoint. And with that said, you've just been tuned up. You just learned the 6 attributes of how you can be more credible in any sales conversation to grow your agency this year. If this was valuable, please make sure and smash that like button, share this out to the other people that need this coaching and support, because I know there's so many people that need this exact topic. And if you're not in it, get in it, right? With that said, please subscribe to the channel, and I can't wait to see you next time.